Shalom. We're still in Parashah Netzvaim, Natzav. That means to stand, to be appointed, to be anointed, in context of standing before Yahweh your Elohim. Now, if you just think about that, that sounds like Judgment Day. Now, judgment is nothing other than to be weighed. Those who will be greatest in the kingdom, those who will be least in the kingdom. So that scale, the scales of Yahweh, is based upon the works that has been performed during this life cycle. Now that coincides with the parable of the talents. The talents, yes, it's my abilities, this, that, and the other, but it's not really only that. It's more to do with information regarding the truth or the amount of revelation or truth you receive. That's called a talent. Now I'm going to just repeat what I mentioned a couple of, maybe a year back or 2 years back, regarding the 10 talents and the 5 talents and the 2 talents and the 1 talent. Now the 1 talent is the basic truth about Yahweh, that he exists, but he's distant. He's not a personal God. Then you get the 2 talents. That's basically to do with the knowledge of Yahweh and serving Yahweh, worshiping Yahweh, and how to deal with your neighbor. So those 2 talents represented 2 tablets with the 5 commandments on each tablet. And then you get the 5 talents. Now the 5 talents have to do with the 5 books of the Torah. That has to do with his instructions for righteousness and his training manual for his judges and his priesthood. And then you get the 10 talents. That's basically the fulfillment of everything in relation to the full knowledge of who Yahweh is, the full revelation of Yahweh your Elohim, and that is still to come. So we try to get to the 5 talent stage where we study the Torah. Some people only study up to the point of love God and love your neighbor, and you don't have to do anything else because you fulfill everything anyway if you just love. So that's the 2 commandments. And then the basic idea of, I know there's a God, don't really know much about it, but I know that he's the creator. That's 1 talent. Now a lot of people in the world doesn't even have the 1 talent. They don't think there is a God. They call him the universe at best, and they basically worship the universe. The universe is going to give me this, and I attract things through speaking things into existence, and then the universe provided for me. I heard a lot of that. Our New Age friends who are into those things, at least they've got some sort of an understanding of a spiritual unseen world that is higher than us, but it still doesn't cut the mustard regarding the talents. So bring us back into Yahweh your Elohim. This now Yahweh speak to his priesthood, the ones with the 5 talents, and he used the scales of judgment to weigh. Yes, you're a part of the priesthood. You engage with the 5 talents. You are part of the 2 talents, and you are part of the 1 talent. Now the 2 talents and the 1 talent, they will probably go through the time of the wine press, because you need to be fully engaged as his priesthood, as his bride, in order to be elevated and to have the function of a priest. Now what's interesting, I mentioned yesterday that I'm going to look at the 6 tribes on Mount Gerizim. Now Gerizim, one of the Gematria words in there means priest. It also means to work in the garden or something like that, or to facilitate working in the garden. But the one that stands out is priest. So what you see in that picture with Shechem in the middle, Mount Gerizim and Mount Ebal, is that the mountain of blessings, the Mount Gerizim, is the future 6 tribes that represent the 6 types of judges that will exist for work and purpose. within the second wilderness experience. Now, I've done the first two this morning. I've looked at Reuben and Levi. Now, Levi is a no-brainer. I mentioned that yesterday. Levi means to interweave. They are the ones who connect the vertical with the horizontal to form a tapestry that gives you a picture and understanding of the unseen. Now, the horizontal is anything that connects with Yahweh. The horizontal is everything that connects with man in the physical, and the horizontal is everything, the vertical is everything that connects with Yahweh in the spiritual. And as you interweave the two together, they bring the knowledge down from above, interweave it with the knowledge down below, and also the dynamics and things that happen on the earth, specifically regarding the revelation of Torah in real time in your life, those kind of things. Give you a picture where you're at, give you a picture of what needs to happen next, give you a picture of what my task is, what the next step is. So that's the revelation that comes from above, that is facilitated by the judges called the Levites. Now, Levi is Lamed Vav Yod. So what you see with the Lamed, it's the tallest letter. It pulled down the strands from above. And then you have the Vav, which is the connection with man, and the Yod is the unseen hand of Yahweh working through them, and the anointing working so that people can have that revelation through the anointing of the gifts of the Spirit, of which one of them is teaching. So that is the facilitation of the Levites. Lamed, of course, also means to teach and to learn, and it has to do with the rabbi function, the teacher function, the function of Mashiach as teacher. So those judges will be just like Yeshua, who taught his people. I'm not going to go into the gematria of Levi. That I leave for the Sabbath coming. All the interesting things interweaved into that, so to speak. And then Simeon has the front of his name, or the beginning of his name, is the word Shema. That means to listen and to obey. And that word of Reuben, the gematria, where that word is first used, has to do with protecting the tree of life from the fallen ones outside. So it's sort of a covering, a protection. Now, within the gematria of Simeon are the words to do with garment, and also a place's name that is given to the tribe of Levi, the son of Gershon, one of the sons of Levi, who carried the outer court coverings, which link with garment, that also link with guarding the tree of life from the fallen state, that veil aspect. So all of that has to do with Simeon. And they basically work with people, and it has to do with basically engaging with the people on the front line as the judges, that provides the covering to house the presence and then allow the people to draw near and to facilitate worship in that regard, similar to a tabernacle. So I don't know whether there's going to be a physical tabernacle, or it's just going to be like today. It's just a fellowship of people with an anointed person who then facilitate the process, and then the household that you engage with, they are basically the tabernacle that contain the gifts of the Spirit. So that is one way of interpreting that. But what's fascinating to see is within the first two, I see the confirmation of Mount Gerizim, that it is the 6 functions of the priesthood that of which the judges will be anointed to facilitate those functions during the time of the wilderness. There's a few other interesting things I'm not going to mention now. Just want to leave you with those thoughts, and I'll probably share the next 2 tomorrow. So I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you soon. Shalom.